Welcome to the Project Safe Neighborhoods Performance Measures training. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to learn more about PSN's performance measures and how to report them in the PMT system. Today's content will fall into two major categories. First, we will review the importance of performance measures and how you will report them in the Performance Measurement Tool, or PMT. The second part of today's training will focus on common reporting challenges. At the end of this training, you should walk away with a better understanding of why BJA requires you to report performance measures and how we use this information. During the training, you'll get an in-depth view of PSN's specific reporting and some issues we commonly see in reporting. This section of the training will provide an overview of performance measures and the reporting process. So, what exactly is the PMT? The Performance Measurement Tool is an online data collection tool for the Office of Justice Programs grant recipients. It is structured as an online questionnaire and is available year-round. The PMT contains lots of information and tools to assist you in your reporting, so let's take a look. This table outlines the types of data you'll be reporting each reporting period, when your reports are due in the PMT, and whether you also need to upload your reports to GMS. As you can see from the alternating values under the second column, you'll only report on the narrative questions in January, July, and during your last reporting period of grant activity, regardless of where that falls on schedule. The PMT is only open for data entry during the month after a reporting period closes. The PMT is accessible year-round for you to review and edit your data, generate reports, and more, but you will need to contact the PMT Help Desk to help you unlock reports as needed. The first page of each performance measure questionnaire outlines additional resources that may be helpful as you report. It includes reminders about the program's goals and objectives and lists contact information for the PMT Help Desk and state policy advisors if you need to reach out with any questions. We like to note each program's goals and objectives as a reminder of why we are asking you to fill out this questionnaire each quarter. The measures are ultimately there to assess your progress toward the PSN program's goal. For more information, please use the link on this slide to review specific PSN reporting requirements or contact information to reach out to the PMT Help Desk. We also have a reporting tip on this slide. Some grantees find it easier to track the required data outside of the PMT in smaller time increments by maybe a week or month, and then add it all together when it's time to report in the PMT to get the report period totals. We strongly encourage you to use whatever approach makes it easiest for you to report your totals each reporting period. Grantees who have previously reported on PSN measures may notice some changes to the questions listed in the PMT. To reduce grantee reporting burden and duplication with the Department of Justice's United States Attorney's Office semi-annual report, BJA has reduced the number of performance measures it collects in PMT since this information is now being tracked through the USAO semi-annual reporting. These changes are clearly marked in the PMT. Some questions that have been removed may still be visible, but they will be grayed out and you will not be able or be required to respond to them. This graphic introduces the variety of types of performance measures we use to track progress towards PSN goals and identify areas for improvement. Inputs refer to program resources, like grant funding. Activities are the actions that convert inputs to outputs that eventually result in measurable progress towards the program's goal. This can include things like trainings, meetings, partnership development, data analysis, and strategic initiatives, like hotspot policing, focused deterrence, and other crime prevention strategies. Outputs are the countable products or services that result from these actions. Research partnerships, for example, may result in the development of new program materials or assistance with key working group tasks like communicating program impacts to external audiences. Outcomes speak to longer-term program goals like improving community safety and reducing crime. Performance measurement benefits both BJA and its grantees. This slide focuses on performance measure uses and advantages for BJA, which uses this information to identify areas of success and potential opportunities for improvement, track grant progress toward program goals, understand how funds are distributed, and to comply with the Government Performance and Results Modernization Act. Grantees can use performance measures to accomplish many of the same goals, like identifying areas for improvement to focus internal efforts, proactively request assistance to address changes, and develop evidence of program process that can be used to enhance advocacy and sustainability. Now let's do a quick review to check what you've learned so far. Please take a minute to respond to these questions on the right side of your screen. When you've answered the questions, don't forget to hit submit. The answer to number 1 is C, 30 days. The answer to number 2 is D, all of the above. Now we'd like to ask you 2 questions to better understand how your agency uses performance measures and to see whether you have any specific questions about performance measures. We ask these questions for your benefit as well as ours. After the training, we receive a copy of these questions, which then gives us insight into how you're using the measures. We can then take your answers and apply them to the work we're doing. As well, any questions that you have, we can answer now or follow up with you after. We can also turn these questions into FAQs or user guides. We'll give you a minute now to answer in the Q&A box, and you can continue to answer as we progress through the rest of the presentation. The next section will review common reporting challenges. To introduce this section, we'd like to share some information about how BJA identifies common challenges and seeks to improve data quality. BJA's Planning, Performance, and Impact team assesses data consistency and accuracy and reaches out to grantees with potential issues. Program grant managers also play a role in enhancing performance data quality through site visits, where they identify documentation to verify PMT data entries for major activities. One of the reporting errors we see most frequently is missed follow-up questions. Many of the questions in PSN's performance measure questionnaire, like the 2 examples on this slide, require additional information depending on your answer to the first part of the question. During the data verification process, analysts will look at the different parts of each question to make sure that you've answered and entered data for all relevant parts of the question. Answering each relevant part of the question is one part of complete and accurate reporting. Another part is ensuring that the person answering these questions in the PMT has sufficient knowledge of the PMT program to do so accurately. In one of the performance measure questions, reproduced on the screen here, we ask you to share which project partners you consulted with when completing the performance measures during the reporting period. Your responses may vary by reporting period, so we ask you to provide this information in every quarter. To wrap up, we'd like to quickly review common challenges with defining goals and objectives and offer a few tips. It is important to write well-defined goals and objectives to clarify your priorities and highlight criteria for success. The SMART mnemonic walks users through important dimensions of a good goal or objective. They should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. We recommend that you reevaluate your goals twice a year to determine whether they should be updated and used to drive this data process. Here's your last review. Please enter the final 2 polling questions to the right of your screen before we move on to the Q&A portion of this training. The answer to number 1 is B, assorted. The answer to number 2 is D, all of the above. Here's the BJA PMT Help Desk contact information. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, except on U.S. federal holidays. We strive to return everybody's email and phone call within 24 hours, so please don't hesitate to leave a voicemail or email even after business hours. We'll leave the webinar open for about 5 to 10 minutes so you can download any handouts or attached, or use the Q&A box if you have any questions. A recording of today's training and other user materials and resources will be posted online. On behalf of BJA and the PMT team, thank you for your time, dedication, and hard work. This concludes the recorded presentation. We will now open the line for questions and answers.